Hello everyone, this is Instructor Toll, and in this short video I want to talk about the work that is due this week, March 14th through the 20th, and your screen on Canvas, your home screen, should look something like this. This is my student view and it's slightly different, but everything, including the due dates, should match up. So I'm going to go to the modules page, and hopefully you've had a chance to look at all this material. Keep in mind that you'll need to complete all of these Module 1 items, including the quiz down here. You'll see the syllabus and learning contract agreement and the student consent form. You want to make sure to complete those items, or you will not be able to check out module number 2. So our first major assignment, as I've alluded to in previous emails and communication, is this first reflection. Before you get to that, you want to go through and check out the overview in Module 2 so you know what we're doing with the reflection. You can click Next to click through these things. I find it easier to navigate through the modules page, but to make sure you haven't missed anything, it's always good to click through and make sure to watch all the materials, read all the materials that are available to you. This discussion is the third thing that you'll see. It's an optional discussion. A couple of your peers have already posted. I would highly recommend participating just so you can think about your own processes, the elements of writing that we don't talk about a whole lot. Some of these things are very individual and particular, but it will help you generate content for the first reflection. And it will also just help you think about what you actually do, what works for you, and what has been helpful in the past. So take a look at your peers' responses here. And I would highly recommend participating in this. Of course, it's not mandatory. But the first assignment, which is due tomorrow night, Tuesday the 15th, is this first reflection. And so there's an estimated time here. I would budget at least a couple of hours just to read through all the materials and to complete the reflection. So each one of the reflections, and there are 3 in our course, are progressively more and more complex. So this is a short reflection. It's 500 words. It's asking you to take stock of the writing processes and the habits that you've had before coming into this class, and then some of your goals looking forward. So you can broadly, break this up into 2 sections, looking back and looking forward, and try to answer as many of these questions as you can in a paragraph narrative format, and then put this together as a cohesive reflection. So take a look at these instructions. If you want to see an example of this, you can go to announcements, where I have posted some additional resources for this first reflection here. There's a reflection from a previous student in a previous class. Of course, your reflection might look very different, and that's totally okay. The voice that you use, the tone, and the style might look very different, and that's definitely okay. These reflections are a little bit more creative in the sense that you're writing for a fairly broad audience, right? And you can use your own voice, your speaking voice. That's not to say you can't use that voice in the projects that we're doing, but there may be more specific parameters. So feel free to be as creative as you want in this reflection within the assignment parameters. In terms of incorporating visual or multimodal elements, here's some tutorials for embedding documents, screenshots, and so forth. And you want to get into the habit of using those in these reflections. We're back at the modules page. So after tomorrow, hopefully you'll have completed this first section of Module 2 and your first reflection. And then you'll want to get started on the digital portfolio activities. We're creating a portfolio in Google Sites, and there are some instructions here. You want to read the description. The portfolio is kind of a way for you to present the work that you've done in this class, potentially using it outside of the class. And it's for you to look back on and reflect on. So you can take a look at this maybe after the class is over, in a month, 2 months, 6 months, to see how your writing has progressed since then. So you'll want to make sure that you are completing all these elements. This is what we're doing at the beginning of the course, middle of the course, and the end of the course. And then there's some instructions for personalizations. There's a lot of opportunities for creativity with the portfolio in Google Sites. And then you'll want to make sure to post your portfolio as a discussion here. So what you're going to do is you're going to publish your portfolio. Make sure that the settings are set to public. People who don't have access to this course aren't going to be able to find the portfolio, but public just allows your peers and myself to be able to see it. If not, if they're set to private, we're not going to be able to access the material. So you'll write a brief post and then include the URL, the published URL for your portfolio along with that. All right. We do Thursday, March 17th. A couple of days later, on March 20th, you want to make sure to respond to your peers using the 3CQ method described here. And there's one more thing that's going to be due on Sunday night, and that is the topic brainstorming discussion board. I've already posted some things here. It's not going to be unlocked for you until March 15th because I want you to work on the reflection of the portfolio stuff, but I will be posting more material about Project 1 later on this week. So this Module 3 discussion is about Project 1. These are our two fairly kind of medium-sized research projects that we're going to be doing in this class. And I'll explain more about those later on in the week. So don't worry about those yet until we have completed the first reflection in the portfolio. That's just a basic overview of what we're doing this week. If you have any questions about any of this, please don't hesitate to reach out, email me. We can set up a office hours appointment through Zoom, and I'll be posting more things later on this week to help guide you through this process. Thank you.